What's up, Bills Mafia, and happy Victory Monday. My name is Devin Long, and you are now tuned in for the fifth episode of the Down South Bills podcast. You can follow me on X at Down South Bills, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. With that being said, let's get into the pod. Today I'll be discussing the All-22 film and my instant reaction from the Week 11 game against the Buccaneers. We'll tap into what the tape revealed, the standouts, the mistakes, the key plays, and the things you didn't see live. And so, just to start off, I want to say I've watched the game. I've watched the All-22. I feel like it was a great win, but there's also plenty of things that we can fix, especially the run defense. And so to start the game, the defense had a great start to the game, great early stop to force the punt, a PBU by Terrell Bernard filling in for Jordan Hancock's zone. Ironically enough, I said I want the rookies on the field more, but obviously they're going to have some rookie mistakes just like that one. But luckily, Terrell Bernard was in the right place at the right time to get the PBU. So the defense holds up, forces a punt on their first drive of the game. After it seems like the Buccaneers are gonna move the ball pretty easily, they got to our side of the field, so it seemed like they could have maybe at least gotten a field goal out of that. But great way to hold up by the defense. Early momentum swing prevented there. But then some offensive mistakes early. As you remember, Josh Allen had the interception, but on the first play of the game, there was a free runner at Josh Allen, and neither Cook nor Knox decided to chip or block the guy. Cook, they both went out on routes, and there was a free runner at Josh Allen. And then on play two, there was another free runner at Josh Allen, but this time it was David Edwards who just completely whiffed on his block. I mean, he points at the guy pre-snap. You think he's pointing at the guy like, hey, I'm going to block this guy. But then when the ball snapped, he doesn't even look the guy's way. Number 8 on the Buccaneers run straight at Josh Allen, free runner, and then Josh Allen trying not to take a safety, which he could have really just fell forward and been on the 1 yard line, but he decided not to take a safety and just try to throw the ball chest pass, and it was obviously intercepted by the defense, which I'm sure you guys remember. But then a great way to give up 3 instead of 7 from our defense, just a good way to hold them there. After Josh Allen's early interception, some great passing off on the defense. It ended up with Terrell Bernard guarding Ibuka, which I don't like as a matchup overall, but Terrell Bernard held his own, and Ibuka didn't make the play in the back of the end zone. So great way to give up 3 there after an early offensive mistake. But then we had some special team spark from Mecole Hardman with his first big return. It was very explosive. Sean McDermott said in his press conference after that you could feel him. He was shot out of a cannon. So that was really something that was a bright spot for us because we don't normally have special team sparks as the Buffalo Bills. The most memorable one I remember is after Damar Hamlin's incident a few years ago, Nyheim Hines returning that very next kick return, the first play of the game. But we don't normally have special team sparks, so I could see why they would go out and get a guy like Mecole Hardman. And then that paid dividends. And then Ray Davis having great returns too, so I don't know if that's Tampa Bay's special teams unit that isn't good, but I guess we'll see here coming up because it was a pretty good day from the special teams. And then we also had some offensive standouts. Gabe Davis with some multiple clutch first downs. One was a slant, and I think he had another slant late in the game. But Gabe Davis, I mean, I predicted that he could help this offense, and it seems that early on I've been right that he could affect this offense. Ty Johnson also a great game overall. He did have the one fumble that he was able to recover, but ran hard all day and obviously had the long touchdown on the screen. Great block by Terrell Shavers, setting him up, and then we'll also get into Terrell Shavers' game later on. But a great game by Terrell Shavers. Josh Allen's legs were a bigger factor than I expected. 3 touchdown runs on the day, and only one was a tush push. And even the tush push was from about 3 yards out. Seems like it would have been good from about 5 yards, but just a great day overall from the offense. Josh Allen did have the 2 interceptions, the one that we spoke on earlier, and then one was a tipped ball that he kind of forced in there. So you kind of live with some of those things. Sometimes we don't want to get back to the old Josh Allen when he had Stephon Diggs, and he was kind of throwing it all around the yard there, trying to get it to Stephon Diggs. So we don't want to go back to that Josh Allen with all the interceptions, but some of those things you'll take, especially when he's giving you 6 touchdowns in return. And then the receiver play, Joshua Palmer had a very underrated performance. It didn't really show up on the stat sheet. I believe he had like 17 or 27 yards or something like that. But he separated all game. For example, like on the Cook touchdown late, Palmer cooked his man on an inside release corner route. I think it was up the hashes and then cut out, but he was just, I mean, he cooked his man for about 3, 4 yards of separation. And I know a big thing has been the Bills not beating man coverage, but on that play, Cook got open out of the backfield. Gabe Davis got open on a post route, and also Palmer got open on that corner route. So those are some things that I kind of spoke on, passing to the running back, getting Palmer back, who's one of the best separators in the league. I mean, you don't have to, you can look at his stats and say, hey, you're probably just saying that because you're a Bills fan, but if you look at the separation stats and not just the numbers of who's getting the yards, you can tell that Palmer is statistically and has been one of the best separators in the league. So having him on the field, as well as when we get Kincaid back, those two guys are our separators in the offense. I believe we have a lot of great skill sets on our offense, but you need all of those skill sets, or at least a couple of those skill sets, available at a time to be able to execute this offense without an alpha number one receiver. So I do think having Palmer back, even though the stats didn't show it, was a big help. Also having Gabe back, who Josh Allen trusts. I was one who said we shouldn't pay Gabe Davis all the money that the Jaguars gave him, but getting him back on a practice squad deal and elevating him and seeing him do this, it really just shows that his production didn't really drop off in Buffalo. It was just everybody wanted him to be this number two receiver, and we're just not a team that goes by 1, 2, 3, 4 receivers. It's just whenever you can help, that's when we expect you to help. When your number's called, we expect you to step up, and that's usually what people do, and that's what Gabe did in his opportunity on Sunday. And so, with that being said, we'll get into the defensive standouts. And one I'd like to say is Maxwell Hairston. I still think Maxwell Hairston should be playing all the snaps over Tre'Davious White. I don't know why they're not doing that yet. I haven't looked as closely to see if Maxwell Hairston is still wearing the knee brace. He may be still wearing the knee brace, but in 51% of the snaps, Maxwell Hairston was never targeted. And I don't know if that's because he has 2 interceptions in his first 2 games that he's played, but Maxwell Hairston was never targeted in 51% of the snaps. Also, a great game by Cole Bishop and the safety tandem as a whole. Bishop did have the interception, but Poyer, even though he doesn't normally play on third downs, we get Hancock in there for a little bit more speed. He was still tied for first on the team in tackles with 11, and I believe Bernard had 11 as well. Bernard had a solid game. Milano had a solid game. They could have played well with their gap integrity and get filling the gaps and tackling more in the run game, but a pretty good game for those guys. I know we don't always get to see them guys together, but seeing them together, you could tell that the defense is just better overall with Milano and Bernard both in there. So do love to see Shaq Thompson in there as well. Dorian Williams on third down was big, blitzing and just in there batting balls and just causing havoc for Baker Mayfield, even when he was able to escape out of there. But just a great game from the defense. I wouldn't say a great game, but just a game where you can kind of look at some things and say, hey, although we gave up some stuff to Sean Tucker and in the running game, we did have some things that we can kind of learn from and be like, hey, we did this good. We played man well good. We had a strip sack from DaQuan Jones, and we could really feel his veteran presence. So it was good to have him back. But definitely some things that we can work on the defense, on the defensive side. But I will give the defense a B in this game, maybe a B plus, because Baker Mayfield is a guy who I believe is a good quarterback and can make some plays. And he did have a Buka out there who's capable of some things, and maybe he didn't have the numbers, but he is someone that you have to kind of pay attention to, and that opens up some things for a guy like Sean Tucker, who isn't necessarily in the scouting report. But also had some big time plays today. Ray Davis returns, had a nice spark as I spoke on before. Josh Allen to Terrell Shavers, the way that he kind of operated the pocket, ran out to his right, then reset, ran back inside of the pocket, and then launched it to Terrell Shavers, who made a great adjustment to catch that pass and take advantage of his opportunity. So great to see Terrell Shavers have a pretty solid game yesterday. I think he had four receptions for 90 yards. So great thing to see him do well. He's someone who Sean McDermott says works really hard. So great to see that that paid off for him. Coverage wins on defense. Great to see that we were able to play some man coverage and really fluster Baker Mayfield a little bit. He was able to get out of there and get some runs, but the coverage downfield was really good as far as man coverage, which is why they had to run and get to Sean Tucker in the passing game, because down the field in the secondary, we were really defending guys really well. So just want to say great win from Buffalo. We do have a lot to clean up defensively, but you'd obviously rather fix those things in a win than a loss. So thanks if you made it to the end of the pod. Happy Victory Monday again. Please like, share, and subscribe, and go Bills.